I want to talk about the plant medicine, fungi medicine, animal medicine, and the trap that it creates for us that we fall into. Now I want to start this off by saying, if it wasn't for these things, I would never be where I'm at. So they are a blessing, and they are here for a reason, and I appreciate everyone who serves these things. But it's typically the people that serve these that fall into this trap. The trap seems to be more of like a seeking trap. If you are someone who administers these shamans, facilitators, anyone who facilitates these things, you shouldn't need to be taking them. You don't need them anymore. You don't need to be consuming them while you're facilitating. You don't need to consume them when you're not facilitating. You don't need to ever consume them, ever. If you are, then you might be in this trap. It's not for everyone, I understand that. But so I'll just explain a little bit of my experience, because that's all this is. This is my experience. This is my take. This is my reality. This is my understanding, and it may not serve anyone, but maybe this can shake something up for you, because you might be stuck, because most of these shamans and facilitators are stuck. They are truly stuck, and they're in the same place that I had since I started this. But to them, it doesn't look like that they are. They think they've come a long way. They think they've done a lot of work, and it could be true, but so I'm gonna go into my story, actually. So the first thing I ever tried was ayahuasca. That was in 2019. I was in Peru. It was like 3 or 4 administers. So it was the very first one. I remember coming out of the hut where we were, and I was in the middle of Peru in the jungle, and I remember looking up at the sky and saying, why must I drink this and experience this like this in order to communicate and talk to you? And it was instant. It was so clear that it was like, you do not have to do this. This is just a bridge. It's just meant to be a bridge so that you can understand that you create this DMT inside your body. You create it. So at that point, I realized that, I wouldn't have to do this much, because I was actually there with people that would have done it 60, 80 times. It blew my mind. And from the 3 or 4 times that I did it in that 10 days, something kind of slowly became obvious to me. It didn't click then, but I realized it a few years later that most of those people that have to do that are in a trap. Yes, they experience crazy and beautiful things most every time, and they get information, and they keep healing themselves and keep healing themselves and keep healing themselves. But the problem is, you think you need to heal yourself. You think that the only way, it's a limiting belief too. You think that the only way you can connect to this divine God, or whatever you want to call it, the universe, or to get any of your answers, or to raise your vibration, or whatever you're taking it for, if you're taking it because you need to get it to a certain level of consciousness to help facilitate or to help, really think about that, because to me it seemed to be most of these people were in a form of attachment to it, an addiction, if you could, without realization to it, because they treasure it so much, that this is given to us from God. This isn't a drug, but it really is a drug. It's a drug just like food. Food's a drug. Anything you distract yourself with, can become a drug, become an attachment, become an addiction. So, what I want to show you is that, so I've done that, I've done ayahuasca, half dozen times. But I wanted to experience everything. So I wanted to understand everything. So I did Bufo once, and I've done mushrooms like another half dozen times at most, at a high potency. And by that I mean like 3.5. I've never had to take more than 3.5 to get what I needed to do. I have done where I did these microdosing mushrooms all day long, every day, and I was guided to do that for, it was like a month and a half. I was taking like 1 gram every, it was pretty strong, but I got so used to it that all it was doing was just raising my level of vibration and consciousness. And I was also fasting at the time, so all I was eating was mushrooms, magic mushrooms, but I wasn't fasting the entire month. I didn't truly get into extreme fasting until recently. And that's also what I want to bring up, is that I realized that, through this, that you can turn your own DMT on at will whenever you want. But I realize the people that administer this cannot do that. And they can't do that, and I'll bring up my chapstick theory. I have a chapstick theory. I don't believe it's a theory. I believe it's truth. And I know it's truth in my reality. And it goes for anything that you put into the body that the body already creates, or you put on the body that the body already creates, such as chapstick. The minute you have to start applying chapstick, your body, if you do it enough, your body shuts those oils down that go to your lip, because it takes energy for the body to produce that oil that you need for your lips. If you were to just toughen it out and talk to your body would eventually kick in and produce the oil, and you wouldn't have chapped lips. But you don't, and you put chapstick on, and then you have to continue that. And then every winter every day, you have to put chapstick on your lips, because your body has shut that down, because it needs to, say, you eat 3 meals a day. So that's 80% of your energy right there. If you're eating 3 meals a day, you're never going to be able to tap into what I'm talking about. You're never going to be able to experience the level of DMT or the level of being able to turn it on, because when I consume food, it's almost impossible for me to do it. It only occurs when I'm fasting, and I'm usually, that's just my life. I eat once every 2 days now, or I'll go on just juices every day. So at one time a day, though, I'm always on an empty stomach for always at least 20 hours. It's never consume anything more than that. Maybe some coffee or something like that. So I usually I'm still in this seeking energy, in this habit form of coffee. But I also don't resist. So when I have these urges, I don't constrict, I don't resist, I just surrender. So what I want to explain is that what I'm trying to get at is that if you're one of these people, then you should be producing and understand that you can, have your DMT at will. That's the true work. That's the magic. Imagine just, and not only that, but when the body produces, it's just a completely different experience. To me, it's just way more magical. It's way more, it's from your own body. So it's just there's absolutely no reason for me to ever go and experience, unless I was completely guided for some reason and told. But I don't ever see that happening. When I can go on a week fast and do some breath work and have an ayahuasca trip 5 times a day, way more intense than ayahuasca. Shut it off when I want to, turn it on when I want to. It's just uncomparable. It's not, there's no comparison. So everyone has that. You just need to want it. You have to want to be able to do this by yourself. Once you start doing these things, you'll start experiencing outer body. I don't like to even call it outer body because that's not really what it is. The soul is not in the body. You are not in, the consciousness is not in the body. You are outside of it. It's just a belief that an outer body experience is you think that you're coming out of your body, but that's just a belief. So I think astral projection is a lot better term. So you should be able to astral project now at any time you want, but you can't because you're stuck in this. I can only have these astral projections when I'm on medicine. It's not true. You can do it in 5 minutes. You should be able to do it in 5 minutes. You should not be asleep in the dream world. You should be awake. When the body goes to sleep, you should be astral projecting. You should be in the astral world. Especially if you're a shaman. Shamans, that's where they spend and get their time and their information, and they retain it. We're always doing it when the body goes to sleep, every single one of us, but 90% of you are asleep in it and not aware of it, or not conscious, because you're still in this seeking energy. You still think you have to heal yourself. You still think that you need to find answers. Well, if you're in that energy, then that's what the universe is going to give you. It's going to continuously give you this seeking energy that you need to find more and find more and find more and find more and heal more and heal more and heal more. It's a trap. You are whole. You are perfect. You are love. That's what you need to remember. You are one. You've got to get out of this dualistic. It doesn't exist. You need to step in this non-dual reality. Remote viewing, you should easily be remote viewing. There's no way that there's anything special about me that I could have been able to do all this when I started my journey in 2019. Most of the people I talk to, and the shamans and the healers and the practitioners and such, have been doing this for years, 10. I've talked to people of 20 years doing ayahuasca 60 times. It is a trap. It's a beautiful medicine, but it's just a bridge. It's just a bridge. Not for you to get stuck in. For you to walk over the bridge and realize that you create that same exact substance inside your body. And you can have it whenever you want, if you really want it. It's easy, but it's not easy. We hear that a lot. It's very paradoxical, but it's true. So sit down and think to yourself and ask yourself if you are in that trap, because you can get out of that trap very easily by just leaving that seeking energy behind and surrender. Maybe stop eating so much. Truly, the most mystical experiences I have are when I don't eat, is when I don't have food in my body for a certain amount of time. Even water, you don't even need the water. So, yeah, if you guys have any comments, I would love to hear about them. Thanks.